Hello guys, in this tutorial I'm going to teach you on how to make your design responsive using constraints in Figma. Looking at this design here, if I should scale this design, what do you notice? That the design doesn't move or is not interactive because all the elements here is just at one place. So this is where constraints comes in and how we are going to make it responsive. Now the position of these items, we are going to note the positions of all the elements used in this design, just like this one. So this furniture shop, about us, and contact is at the center. Why this brand name Alexis, if I pronounce that right, is by the left hand side. So why the other one here, this notification bell, is by the right hand side. So since we have known the positions of this element, we are going to use constraints to set them exactly like that. The next thing to do is to select this tab. What we are going to do is that we are going to ungroup them so that we can individually set the positions of how they are in this design. So you right click and ungroup. We are going to start with this brand name Alexis by setting the constraints to the left. So we'll go over to this right hand side, we will see constraints over there. Then we select it to the left hand side and we want to also align it to the top. So it's going to give that padding of this place, this padding of 81 when you are scaling it. Moving to the second one, which is this tab here, we don't need to ungroup them because it's going to be a lot of work setting them individually. So we are going to set the constraints to the center and also to the top. So when we scale it, it's going to align to the center and to the top also. Moving to this notification bell, we are going to set the constraints to the right hand side. We can either change the constraints either from this tab or we go through this long process, but I like choosing my constraints from here because it's much easy. So we're going to set the constraints to the right hand side and also align it to the top. So that is it. Let's test it if it actually worked. If you notice, as I scale it, you will see that this one aligns to the center, while this one is just by the left hand side and this one is by the right hand side. So this is it. As we are scaling it, it's becoming a little responsive. So we have solved one part of our design. Let's move over to this second part of our design. So we're going to select this main text and we're going to set the vertical axis to the center. So it's going to align at the center and the horizontal axis to scale, because we want it to scale, not only remain at the center but scale. This is what I'm trying to see. So if I should scale this frame, you will see this stuff is called scaling, so it's actually scaling. So we are getting it. I'm going to select this smaller text here and set the constraints to the center here, and I can also set this one to the center here because I just want only this one to scale. Moving over to this third one, this search tab, I'm going to set the constraints to center, just like this, on both sides, center. So if I should scale this, everything is going to become responsive. But when we scale this, you see that it becomes scattered. It doesn't retain its original padding. So this is where another mistake comes in, but which we are going to solve right away. So to keep the original padding that came with the design, what we are going to do is that we are going to put them in an auto layout. So we are going to hit shift on our keyboard and select this second one and the third one. Here we can add our padding, of which is going to retain this padding throughout the design. So the next thing now to do is to set our constraints. So we move down here and set the constraints to the center here and scale, just like how we did it. So when we do that, I'm going to scale this design to see if it actually worked. What do you notice? It kept the original padding that came with the design, but there's one issue here. Remember that I wanted this header text to be scaling or to be scaled, but it's no more scaling, rather is in a fixed state. So what we are going to do now is to change it to the scaling state. So to do that, I'm going to expand this to the original size of the frame. Okay, this is how it was, and select this main text and move over to where we have this hug, but we are going to set it now to fill container. It also replaces scaling too, so in both ways. So I'm going to set it to fill container and try to scale it. When I do that, what do you notice? It's now scaling because this is what I actually want. After making our design responsive, we are going to make it responsive in a way that it fits into a tablet device. So the thing we are going to do now is to find the size of a tablet by hitting F on your keyboard. iPad mini, we are going to be going with this iPad mini, which is 744 in width. That was just all I need. So I'm going to go back to this our main design and set the width to 744. So what do you notice? It kind of scatters. We are going to rearrange that. So it's just a little rearrangement, just like this, and set it to the center. Then if you zoom in, you see that our brand name is overlapping another tab. So what I'm going to do is to shift it to its position by the left hand side. So this is how it fits, because if we should scale this, it's already responsive, just like this. So it's already responsive to a tablet device. So the last one I'm going to give you is to make it responsive to an Android device. So let me pick a site for an Android device. So I'm going to choose a phone. Let's just go with this iPhone 14 and 15 Pro, since they are kind of the latest in the market. So it's 393 in width. So I'm going to select this our main design and set this width to 393, just like this. If you see everything kind of scatters again, that is not an issue of which you are going to fix. But there's another thing. When designing for a mobile app, you don't jam pack icons or tabs together, or navigation icons. You just kind of eliminate them and use a hamburger icon or a navigation icon to access all the tabs we are going to remove now. So this is what I mean. I'm going to remove this tab just right here. Everything is going down. Okay, even this notification icon is going down too. Now the thing I'm going to introduce here is an icon or a hamburger icon that will represent all these tabs here that are practically lost to the mobile device. So I'm going to set this hamburger icon to this place. So through this hamburger icon, we are going to access all these tabs that we lost to a mobile device. So I'm going to delete this. So let's continue. I'm going to scale this. Hit K on your keyboard and scale this design, or this right up. So this is what it looks like to a mobile device. So something like this. Let me align it to the center. Having done all these things, you will see that we have achieved so many things by making a design responsive from a desktop to a tablet and also to a mobile device. So if you're on my channel for the first time, I would like you to click the subscribe button to get connected when we update new videos. So see you guys in the next tutorial.